the powder it would take to blow you up. You are an empty, hollow shell of a woman. I mean, what the hell are you doing in my house if you hate me so much? Why the hell are you married to me? What the hell are you doing carrying my child? I mean, why didn't you just get rid of it?
You ever notice how love stories start? All passion, all excitement, that feeling like you're invincible because you found the one. You swear it's different this time. You swear you won't be like those couples who lose their spark, who grow distant, who let their love turn into something dull. That's what Frank and April Wheeler believed. When they met, it was electric. They had dreams, they had drive. They saw themselves as different from the rest of the world, people who wouldn't settle, who wouldn't become ordinary. But see, life has a way of testing you. It asks, do you really believe that? Because love isn't just about passion. Love isn't just about what's good in the beginning. Love is about what happens when reality sets in. And when that test came for Frank and April, they failed. Not because they didn't love each other, but because love, when built on the wrong foundation, can turn into something that destroys you. April had fire in her. She was the kind of woman who wanted more than the white picket fence life, more than just being somebody's wife, more than just existing. She had dreams. She had a vision for something greater. And when she married Frank, she thought she was marrying someone who wanted the same things. She thought she found a partner, someone who shared her hunger for adventure, for meaning. But wanting something and actually fighting for it, two different things. Frank, he liked the idea of being different. He liked the way April made him feel, like he was special, like he was meant for something greater than a boring office job, than a life of routine. But when it came time to prove it, to take a risk, to step into the unknown, he couldn't do it. Because deep down, Frank was comfortable. He liked the security of his job, the stability of his life. He liked being admired more than he liked actually chasing something bigger. And that's where they broke. See, April kept believing in Frank. She kept waiting for him to wake up and see what she saw in him. She kept sacrificing, kept holding on to the hope that he would be the man she fell in love with, the man who once spoke about dreams and adventures. But love isn't about waiting for someone to catch up to you. Love isn't about dimming your own light while hoping someone else finds theirs. April compromised. Over and over. She gave pieces of herself away, thinking that's what love was supposed to be, selfless, giving, putting the other person first. And let me tell you something, love is not about losing yourself. The moment you start sacrificing your identity, your dreams, your self-respect for the sake of a relationship, that relationship is already failing. Because real love doesn't ask you to shrink yourself. Real love doesn't require you to become less so the other person can feel like more. And yet, that's exactly what happened. April became someone she didn't recognize. She went from being this passionate, driven woman to someone who felt trapped, stuck in a life she never wanted. And when she finally realized that she had sacrificed too much, it was too late. She had already given away parts of herself she couldn't get back. Now, let's talk about Frank. Frank wasn't a bad man. He wasn't cruel, he wasn't abusive. But he was selfish in a way that a lot of people are selfish, in a way that doesn't look like selfishness at first. He wanted April to love him, but he wanted her love on his terms. He wanted to be seen as special, as extraordinary, but he didn't want to do the work to actually be extraordinary. He wanted April to adore him, to admire him, but he didn't stop to think about what she needed. And that's where so many relationships fail. Love isn't just about making someone happy. It's about seeing them. It's about understanding what they need, not just what you want. And Frank never really saw April. He saw what she could do for him, how she made him feel, but he didn't see her pain. He didn't see how much she was losing herself. Or maybe he did see it, but he ignored it, because acknowledging it would mean admitting that he was part of the problem. There's a moment in Revolutionary Road that says everything you need to know about their relationship. April suggests moving to Paris, starting fresh, breaking free from the ordinary life that's suffocating them. At first, Frank goes along with it, because it sounds exciting, because it makes him feel like the man he wants to be. But when reality sets in, when fear creeps in, he backs out. And that's the moment April realizes, this man will never be who she thought he was. He will always choose comfort over courage. And here's the hard truth. You can't love someone into being who you need them to be. You can't sacrifice yourself in the hope that one day, they'll wake up and finally see you. Love doesn't work that way. And when you try to make it work that way, you lose yourself. April lost herself. She spent so much time trying to hold on to a love that no longer fed her, that no longer lifted her up, that she forgot what it felt like to truly live. And that's the danger of a love that asks too much of you. Because the moment you give up your self-respect, the moment you silence your own needs for the sake of keeping someone else happy, you've already lost. Frank didn't mean to hurt April. But sometimes, the worst wounds aren't the ones inflicted by cruelty. They're the ones inflicted by indifference. By selfishness. By someone loving you just enough to keep you there, but never enough to truly see you. And that's what happened. April realized too late that she had given everything she had to a man who would never give it back in return. She realized too late that love isn't supposed to feel like a prison. That compromise, when it's always one-sided, turns into self-destruction. And the saddest part? By the time Frank understood what he had done, by the time he realized that he had let the best thing in his life slip away, there was nothing left to save. Now, what do we learn from this? First, never lose yourself in love. Love should make you better, not smaller. It should inspire you, not drain you. If you find yourself constantly giving, constantly sacrificing, constantly waiting for your partner to change, then ask yourself, is this love, or is this fear? Fear of being alone, fear of starting over, fear of admitting that you deserve better. Second, emotional independence is key. April depended on Frank for her happiness. She thought he would be her escape, that their love would be enough to save her from a life she didn't want. But that's not how it works. Your happiness, your self-worth, your sense of purpose, those things have to come from you. A relationship can add to your life, but it should never be your only source of fulfillment. And finally, know your worth. April deserved better. She deserved a love that saw her, that nurtured her, that gave as much as it took. And so do you. So if you ever find yourself in a relationship where you feel like you're giving more than you're getting, where you feel like you have to shrink yourself just to keep the peace, where your needs are always second to someone else's comfort, remember Revolutionary Road. Remember April. And remember that love should never cost you. Because in the end, if you lose yourself in the name of love, what do you really have left?